Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Could Paulina's and Abe's kiss trigger Abe's memory? The Salem super couple and their fans will be thrilled to hear that Abe Carver and Paulina Price will share a kiss during the week of February 5th, according to spoilers for Days of Our Lives. Even so, would the act itself serve to jog his memory? Days spoilers suggest that the majority of fans would be thrilled to see Abe regain his memories at last. Since he has been having trouble with this plot for several months, it would be wonderful to see him back to his old self. Nevertheless, the bright spot of this whole story has been witnessing Abe rediscover Paulina and fall in love with his wife once more. Many have stated that although Abe has experienced occasional minor flashbacks, he may never fully recover his memory. Even though he's been shown videos and told about past experiences, there's nothing quite like the bond between soul mates, so getting into bed with his wife might ignite something in him. In addition, there's the notion that it would be fantastic if Abe recovered completely from his illness so that viewers could concentrate on Paulina's thyroid cancer narrative. As she battles her illness, all hands will need to be on deck. Although there's a strong chance she'll triumph, given this is the land of daily drama, there will probably be many setbacks along the way. The good news is that she's reconnected with Abe, and their new romance is moving along nicely. DOL spoilers do suggest that he will be Paulina's support system at this period, regardless of whether or not he remembers. Nonetheless, the majority of supporters concur that it would be wonderful if Abe could completely overcome his amnesia and allow his persona to move on. Chad rages at Clyde in Paulina's urgent news, wild drug bust. Days of Our Lives spoilers on Tuesday, February 6th indicate that there will be another drug bust, but Officer Goldman will appear thoughtful throughout. Is there something that Officer Goldman is hiding? She might get into a lot of trouble if Officer Goldman is a mole that Clyde Weston installed. Naturally, Officer Phillips, Brian Molina, has also been acting a little strangely, so it's feasible that Phillips and Goldman are both moles, or that at least one of them will discover the other is guilty. Still, according to previews for Days, Jada Hunter, Rafe Hernandez, and Harris Michaels, Steve Burton, will all play a significant role in this drug bust. On Tuesday's DOL episode at Statesville, Chad DiMera and Everett Lynch will agitate Clyde Weston, but it's Chad who becomes most agitated when Clyde gets under his skin over Abigail DiMera. Clyde may also make suggestions about pursuing Chad's children or Stephanie Johnson, given her significance to Everett. Nevertheless, Everett will maintain his composure and prevent Chad from hurting Clyde physically in the guests section. According to spoilers for Days, Clyde will not allow anyone to obstruct his drug business, but it looks like Chad and Everett will at least make a recording that they can show the police. Keep checking back for updates on Clyde's next warning, as he might make a cryptic statement that raises even more concerns. Meanwhile, now that they've had some intimacy again, Abe Carver and Paulina Price, Jackie Harry, will cherish a lovely morning spent together. Paulina will be happy to have Abe by her side, especially now that she'll be hearing that her lump is becoming larger and that her surgery will be taking place earlier than anticipated. According to teasers for other days, Alex Kyriakis and Kristen DiMera will cross paths in the town square and discuss Teresa Donovan and Brady Black. If Kristen is on the verge of offending Teresa, Alex might advise her to monitor it. Nevertheless, they will wind up bonding over Teresa's enduring relationship with Brady and how simple it is to feel like an outsider. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Kristen will give Alex a lot to consider following their conversation, so be sure to tune in to find out what happens next. Clyde vs. Chad, Alex and Kristen's meeting, Abe-Lena Bliss, an additional drug bust, according to spoilers for Tuesday, February 6, 2024's episode of Days of Our Lives, Clyde Weston, James Red, is confronted by Chad DiMera and Everett Lynch. Brady Black and Teresa Donovan are discussed by Kristen DiMera and Alex Kyriakis. Paulina Price and Abe Carver are happy. Plus, the Salem Police Department conducts another drug raid. Paulina Price and Abe Carver's happiness. According to DOL spoilers for Tuesday, February 6, Abe and Paulina had their first sexual encounter following the brain injury. Paulina and Abe were close in more ways than one. Apart from physical intimacy, Abe and Paulina enjoyed a candid, frank, and uplifting conversation. Paulina acknowledged having visited the hospital earlier in the day. It appeared as though the two were re-establishing a closer connection as they conversed. On Tuesday, Abe-Lena will likely spend a pleasant morning together when the episode airs. Meets Kristen DiMera. Kristen and Alex will cross paths in Horton Town Square on Tuesday, February 6th. Talking over a throwaway coffee cup, Kristen and Alex hold hands. As Alex shares more about Teresa, Kristen will chat about Brady. Longtime viewers are aware that Kristen had Dr. Wilhelm Rolf, last portrayed by Richard Wharton, transfer the embryo into her uterus while Teresa was expecting Tate Black, Jamie Martin Mann, but it wasn't until Kristen delivered the baby, who had a health problem, that Brady and Teresa even realized they were parents to a son. Given the extensive history involved, Alex may want to think twice before disclosing Teresa's issues. Let's see what transpires. Kristen always seems to get her hooks into Brady. Clyde Weston vs. Chad DiMera. According to spoilers for Tuesday, February 6 episode of Days of Our Lives, Clyde will have another guest in jail. Clyde is asked to be interviewed by Chad and Everett for a piece they are working on for The Spectator. Chad blows up at something Clyde says during their heated exchange. Probably Clyde brings up Abigail DiMera, who was portrayed by Marcy Miller in the past. Chad physically lunges at Clyde as a result, but Everett stops him. Chad has 2 small children, so he needs to use caution. On Tuesday, February 6th, which storyline are you most excited to see? Post your ideas in the space provided for comments below. Don't forget to keep watching Peacock Soap Opera to see what happens next. John is immediately put in grave danger on days when Constantine activates the pawn. Daytime Live's Monday, February 5th program revealed that John had a covert meeting with Constantine, who was posing as a client. This exchange did not result in a benign meeting, rather, it activated the pawn. Additionally, the cause behind Constantine's intense interest in the pawn was disclosed. In the tense confrontation, John questioned Constantine about his knowledge of the pawn. Constantine originally just hinted that the pawn had made all the difference in his life. John drew a gun on his most recent adversary out of desperation to learn more, begging him in all seriousness to tell him everything about the parts of his past that he is unable to recall. Regretfully, Constantine refused to give up. Victor was curious to find out what the special card Victor's old friend had been holding on to signified when he eventually brought it out. John was unable to respond to him verbally, but it was all revealed by his acts. John dropped the rifle instantly and got to his feet. He appeared to be in some kind of trance. John answered to the pawn instead of his name anymore. It was clear to Constantine what this meant for him. That he would be able to exact revenge on the pawn for killing Katharina, who held great personal significance for him. The con artist described how the pawn had come to his village of Aria years earlier with a message of death, and that's when Katharina passed away, altering his life forever. Constantine knew that, even in this state, he had complete control over the pawn before letting him free. He went so far as to have John slash the pawn raise his gun to his head. But before anything lethal could happen, he stopped him. John was allowed go, but he made a vow to use John as a pawn. That he fulfilled his destiny and that, in light of what transpires on Days in February, he will exact revenge for what happened to Katharina. Following Constantine's departure, John regained consciousness. Hopefully, this quick exchange will accelerate the pawn story. For in Constantine's vengeful game, John, Steve, and their families will undoubtedly end up like chess pieces. Can the investigators from Black Patch triumph over the past and guarantee the security of their present and future as well? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.